morning. Good morning. I am peacock proud to welcome you to what I think is the representation of the birth of new possibilities for District 100 here in the state of Texas, as we come together as a community to simply say that we believe in Eric Johnson, a homegrown hero. We look forward to what will happen as a result of not only our investment in him, but the fact that he represents so much of the hope that characterizes not only his cause but his campaign. And so with that in mind, let me just introduce some of the elected officials who are on board this train that is destined for Austin. First of all, we're so glad to have with us the Honorable Roberto Alonzo, State Representative from District 104. From District 103, we have State Representative, the Honorable Rafael Anchia. We're also excited to have Dallas Mayor Pro Tem from District 4, the Honorable Dwayne Carroll. Former State Representative Sam Coates. And of course, our history-making District Attorney for Dallas County, the Honorable Craig Watkins. I think it's only appropriate that having introduced Craig Watkins with the adjective history-making, that I now slide into the fact that early on in the campaign of Eric Johnson, I was immediately moved by the fact that this young man represents so much of what we believe can be the birthing of a new era in District 100. I believe that District 100 is pregnant with so many phenomenal possibilities. And to give birth to those possibilities, of course, it takes a certain kind of leadership. And Eric Johnson represents that kind of leadership. And so I salute him as a model, because it's so good for me to look at my daughter and say, Eric Johnson, look at him, paid his dues, played by the rules, went to Harvard University. That's a pretty decent school. Not only did he go to Harvard University, but look at how well he has done. And then on top of that, he didn't stay on the East Coast, but he came back home. In the community that invested in him. And so I am just so excited that Eric Johnson is someone I look up to, someone I respect, and someone I can say to my daughter, who is 17, getting ready to go off to college in a year and a half, this is someone you can look up to, aspire to be like, because Eric Johnson represents not just a model, but a go-getter, not just a model and go-getter, but one who looks at District 100 and says, I grew up here, I know what the needs are, and as a consequence, I want to come back and make a difference. I want to go to Austin, roll up my sleeves, and use the benefits of all that I've been exposed to, my experiences, to make a difference in this district. And so, on this rainy day, I am pleased to say, as a preacher, that the outlook, no, the forecast for District 100 is sunny. Now, again, one of the early supporters of this wonderful candidate, and he's a member of a wonderful church over there on Honorable history-making Craig Watkins.
Good morning. Before I start, I think we have two other elected officials in the room. Angela Hunt's here, Amy Quaid. And Judge Elizabeth Crowder, she's right here. Well, you know, some folks ask me when I decided to endorse Eric, why wouldn't I just sit on the sidelines and not get involved in making inquiries. Well, the reason I did was because I look at public service as a responsibility that all of us have, and especially those of us that have been afforded the opportunity to be educated and given everything that we need to be successful. And so I think as a responsible person that we should come back to those communities that make us. And Eric is just an example of that. And I think the question that needs to be asked of all of those in the district is, what do we want? Are we satisfied with what we've had in the past? Or is it time for us to really have a leader who will roll up his sleeves and do what's necessary to bring the necessary progress and change to the community, not be afraid of it, not be afraid to tell those individuals who hold influence and power the mistakes that they have made. Not be afraid to stand up for those little people in that district who really haven't had a voice in a while. If you look at that district, it's begging for the opportunity to provide the necessary resources for its citizens. And I believe that Eric, being a young man who's done everything that he should be, he graduated from high school, went off to college and to law school, and then he did the responsible thing. He came back to his community to make a difference. And it's time for us to all gather around Eric and support him so we can bring this district forward. Not just this district, but lay a foundation for all of those other young folks who want to hold office, who want to challenge the way that things have been done in the past, and bring forth that positive change so we can continue to move forward. And Eric is just an example of that. I was at a debate that he did some weeks ago, and I was a little disheartened with some of those individuals who called him to question where he stood. Eric could have gone anywhere that he wanted to go, but he chose to come back here to make a difference. And I think that's indicative of a lot of individuals who want to participate and make a difference in their communities. So let's all support Eric. There's an election on March 2nd. It's a very important election, although the person that was running for that election has said that they will not run. We still need to go out in force and make sure Eric is voted into office so we don't have to worry about the politics after that. Eric is just an example of a new era that we are seeing, not just in Dallas, but in this country, of those leaders who really want to do something for their community and give back. And so let's make sure that we take this opportunity to push him forward, to support him, to give him everything that he needs, because as evidence as to what he did when he finished college and law school, he came back to give. And so it's our opportunity to give to him. Now, before I sit down, we also have another elected official here that was introduced earlier, who's done that very thing within his own district, and that's Representative Rafael and Anchia.